The Architect in the Abyss, a philosophical cautionary tale. This is the story of Alistair Vance, a man who built a kingdom on shadow and substance, only to find himself consumed by the architecture of his own design. The Architect. Alistair Vance, Alistair, was born in Elijah, a glistening city built upon ancient, crumbling foundations. Elijah prized intellectual rigor, architectural harmony, and the unspoken etiquette of social assent. Alistair, however, felt the chill of those deep, hidden ruins. He saw not harmony, but a structure maintained through polite coercion. He was brilliant, ambitious, and deeply resentful of the invisible ceilings he felt constraining his ascent. His challenge was twofold: to rise above the established aristocracy of Elysia's designers and to reconstruct the city's ethos in his own image, a meritocracy built on absolute control. He discovered Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power, not as a guide to navigating life, but as a blueprint for dominance. Yet Alistair, in his arrogance, did not just study the laws. He weaponized the 7 dark archetypes that Greene himself cautions carry extreme risk. These are the laws that erode the self to control the other. Part 1. The 7 Forbidden Columns. Alistair began his ascent by breaking the seal on Law 3. Conceal your intentions. Philosophically, this required him to treat truth as a currency rather than a principle. He donned a mask of deceit. He became a master of misdirection, telling rivals his passion was public plazas, while discreetly securing the contracts for the central administrative complex. The affectation was immediate. He gained a reputation as an enigma, which the ambitious feared and the established admired, as mystique. But the hidden cost was the erosion of his own authenticity. To deceive everyone is to, eventually, deceive oneself. He forgot the texture of his own sincerity. To cement his control, he applied Law 11. Keep people dependent on you. Alistair created systems that only he understood. He championed complex, bespoke computational tools for architectural stability that rendered other engineers obsolete. In Elysia's design councils, his threads of control were invisible but absolute. He didn't build a team. He built a hierarchy where everyone owed their relevance to him. The affectation. He achieved godlike indispensability. The mitigation. He was never free. He was the only prisoner in a gilded cage he built, forced to constantly maintain the dependencies or watch his entire structure collapse. He sacrificed tranquility for indispensability. His network grew, but he trusted no one. He deployed Law 14, pose as a friend, work as a spy. At Elysia's prestigious galas, he was charming, a friend who listens. Yet, his every interaction was a dissection. He gathered gossip, financial vulnerabilities, and hidden dreams. He used this information as leverage, subtly reminding people of what he could say. He gained a frightening intuition for palace intrigue, but he traded connection for data. He lived in a state of perpetual alienation, unable to form a single genuine bond because he viewed affection as a strategic weakness. Alistair, fueled by intellectual arrogance, sought mass devotion. He invoked Law 27, play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. He identified a latent spiritual vacuum in the secular city of Elysia. He began hosting Twilight design philosophy lectures that were less about architecture and more about the transcendent geometry of the self. His words were vague, powerful, and utterly seductive. He became the shepherd of shadows. The affectation, a fervent, uncritical army of disciples ready to attack any critique of his work. The decay. He became drunk on his own dogma. He stopped refining his architectural designs, relying on charismatic smoke and mirrors. He confused mass hysteria with intellectual validation. To neutralize his most intelligent critics, he used Law 33. discover each man's thumbscrew. This law requires intimate cruelty. Alistair found his peer's secret, levers of secrets. One architect's gambling debt, another's plagiarism, a third's forbidden affair. He never exposed them publicly, he just let them know he could. The result was compliance born of absolute terror. He was safer than any king, but he also became a pariah. While no one opposed him openly, everyone loathed him privately. He lived in an emotional desert, surrounded by the silent, resentful faces of people who wished for his demise. His final, fatal move was the assertion of absolute authority.